An SV650 when we.
It's more
Mike,
like
Mike,
one of
Mike.
those BMW European style bikes.
Cuidado.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at noon.
Now at noon, new body cam video of the arrest of a doctor accused of throwing an underage alcohol-fueled party. Plus, could Orlando International Airport become the airport of the future? The new plans just unveiled. First, we start with that body cam footage. It shows the arrest of a doctor accused of hosting an underage party at her home. This happened over the weekend. 51-year-old Hao Tran is facing charges after she held a party at her Winter Park home with more than 30 kids. Investigators say those kids were drinking alcohol and one teen ended up in the hospital. Officers say her house smelled of alcohol and they found empty containers inside. According to the arrest report, Tran admitted to hosting the party and knew the kids were drinking, but denies giving out the drinks. Tran is facing multiple charges, including selling or serving alcohol to those under 21. All right, switching gears now, turning to your weather. Here is a live look outside. This is our live camera in Daytona Beach. Still looking a little rough out there, but beautiful. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is standing by. And Candace, the dry season moving on in. You've got all that dry air behind you. So nice.
Can you tell it's dry season just by this one map? And we're going to continue to see those daily sea breezes really not really interacting much for the next couple of days. That's going to keep rain chances nice and low, as well as kind of lower than average humidity levels as well. So let's kind of zoom in and show you what's going on. It is a touch warmer than where it was yesterday at this point in time. We're at 84 currently in Apopka. That's kind of the warm spot at this point. 81 in Kissimmee right now. Bithlo at 78. 80 for you guys in the villages. And then along our coastline, as you can see there, temperatures are warming up pretty quickly as well, especially across Brevard County in the low 80s, upper 70s the further north you go there. Daytona Beach, like another nice live view. You can see there is still barely a beach out there. The breeze is really shaking that camera around a little bit. Now the winds are going to continue to kick up throughout the afternoon between about 25 and 30 miles per hour. And that could possibly bring in an isolated shower or two into the forecast. Now you can see wind gusts at this point between about 20-25 miles per hour, but certainly Volusia County is going to be very busy over the next couple of days. That means that's meant to say Thursday, but you can see we are going to continue to keep temperatures on the warmer side as we head into Sunday, all ahead of a new cold front that could be changing the weather a little bit. We'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
Candace, thank you. Let's take a live look outside now. This is eastbound I-4 in Seminole County. You can see there traffic pacing operations were conducted this morning from 9 to 11. And at that time, it was causing major delays. Now, this was all linked to a recent deadly crash. FDOT says law enforcement slowed traffic to work along the interstate. You can see there. FHP says investigators were gathering evidence, including scene photos and road measurements. News 6 traffic safety expert Trooper Steve says I-4 near Sanford was closed for at least an hour at the start of the operation. Earlier this year, 3 people were killed in a hit-and-run crash in Volusia County, including Flagler County Deputy Administrator George Salinas and his wife. As of right now, FHP has finished conducting its operation and traffic is now running smoothly. In Lake County, one person is dead after a wrong-way crash. It happened last night around 8:30 near State Road 40 and Deerfly Road. That's about 6.5 miles west of Astor. Florida Highway Patrol says the driver of a Cadillac Escalade crossed the median and went into oncoming traffic, crashing into a semi-truck. The Cadillac driver died at the scene. The truck driver was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. Troopers are still trying to determine what caused the Escalade to cross the median. With Biketoberfest now in full swing, thousands of riders are roaring through Daytona Beach, filling Main Street, packing local businesses, and putting safety front and center. Your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada shows us how officials, visitors, and locals are keeping the celebration running smoothly and what's off limits this year.
Main Street is buzzing. The music, the bikes, the riders that are coming from all across the country are turning Daytona Beach into the motorcycle mecca this weekend. The 33rd annual Biketoberfest is bringing thousands of visitors to Volusia County. Police are ready for the crowd with extra patrols, traffic monitors, and security cameras along Main Street. And businesses say it matters.
This year we have cameras out on Main Street, and I was pointed out to them yesterday. And they revolve around, which is really nice. There's at least 6 of them right outside of our door here, facing the Indian motorcycles because they're across the street from us. And they told the safest spot on Main Street is this.
The city's also promoting its Biketoberfest app and social media pages, giving updates on road closures, parking, and event info in real time.
So we have engaged several different social media influencers that are experts in the motorcycle world and have a lot of very dedicated followers. So they're going to be in town, they're going to be posting about their experience.
For those who are rolling into town, the event is about connecting, whether you arrive of 2 wheels or 4.
I just think bikers like the camaraderie, and we all travel to the events, we make it what it is. So I think also this is a pretty historic event. So.
And for some business owners, this year could be the start of something permanent.
But Daytona is also just a great place all around in general. I mean, I love the ocean. Yeah. So, but yes, so I love coming down here, and I would love to be here open 24/7, 7 days a week.
From local shops to longtime riders, the message here is simple. Enjoy the ride, stay safe, and keep Daytona Beach a place that you can keep coming back year after year. Reporting in Daytona Beach, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
The Senate is voting again today on a funding bill to end the government shutdown as the stalemate enters the 3rd week. A federal judge has also temporarily blocked the Trump administration from firing workers during the shutdown. CBS's Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington.
Ms. Smith. No.
Senators returned to the floor for a 10th attempt to fund the U.S. government, but neither Democratic or Republican leaders are showing signs of budging.
We are not asking Democrats to swallow any new Republican policies. We're simply asking them to extend current funding levels for a few weeks while we work on full-year appropriations.
And the Trump shutdown drags on because Republicans refuse to work with or even negotiate with Democrats in a serious way to fix the health care crisis in America.
The president's Office of Management and Budget says federal worker layoffs during the shutdown could exceed 10,000, but a federal judge says for now the firings must stop.
The case is playing out in California, where Wednesday a judge granted a temporary restraining order to block the cut, saying it's a human cost that cannot be tolerated. One of the agencies significantly impacted by the layoffs late last week, the Centers for Disease Control.
It's truly like an episode of Squid Games because we don't know what's going to happen next.
CBS News spoke to a CDC scientist who received a reduction in force notice. She's asked for her identity to be concealed for fear of retribution.
The everyday American should be very concerned. It's going to mean more deaths, more preventable deaths. People will absolutely die from the impact of this administration.
A spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services said the layoffs were part of cutting a bloated bureaucracy and that the positions were deemed non-essential by their divisions. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Some major changes could be on the way for travelers at Orlando International Airport. The airport has announced a 10-year improvement plan. The project would include air taxi services to local cities and around the state. You can also expect new modern baggage handling for terminals A and B, and facial scanning could replace boarding passes. Upgraded mobile ordering from airport restaurants is also planned. All of this is estimated to cost around $6 billion. Speaking of travel, tourism is an essential industry for Osceola County. Now, the tourism arm of Kissimmee is prepared to share how they've been doing so far. Coming up, we get a preview of what Experience Kissimmee has to say and how the city did compared to others across the country. We'll leave you with a live look from our Mount Dora camera on this Thursday. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery.
Today, we're expecting an update on the tourism outlook in Kissimmee. Tourism is a key driver for business owners there. Kissimmee's tourism arm will also share its strategic plan to get people to experience Kissimmee. As News 6's Kissimmee community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez reports, the city says it had a good summer compared to some others around the nation.
While other tourist destinations like Las Vegas have reported a loss in visitors, Kissimmee has actually seen an increase, which is, of course, good news for the local economy and business owners.
We've had a really good summer and a really good year.
During its annual meeting, Experience Kissimmee will share where things stand and their plans for the future.
Tourism is the #1 employer in Osceola County as well. So we have a lot of families that are dependent on tourism to pay their bills and put food on the table. So it's a very, very important industry for the area.
With over 1,000 partners, the tourism marketing department works to get people to choose Kissimmee. And right now, things are going good.
There's been national reports about Las Vegas being down 6%, that they're kind of having a soft year. We're actually up 6% year over year from last year. And we had a super good summer. We just had really strong tax collections and occupancy.
Experience Kissimmee is also on the state stage, with Minnick appointed to the Visit Florida board last summer, the first Experience Kissimmee member to serve on the board.
I think that it's great that Osceola County is going to have a voice at the table with Visit Florida.
I'm your Kissimmee community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right, it is 12:13. Let's get you to a check of your forecast. This is our camera in Daytona Beach. Biketoberfest underway, and man, it is looking gorgeous out there. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos standing by, and we've had some ugly years for Biketoberfest. They are looking good this year.
Yeah, very good across the board. Maybe an isolated sprinkle or two, but really that is about it when it comes to the next 4 days. If you're planning on enjoying Daytona around Volusia County, the only problem lies along our beaches and for boaters. But for bikers, we're good to go. That was a really cool live shot there. All right, let's talk temperatures right now along the coastline in Daytona Beach. We're at 79 degrees. Further south along the Space Coast, we're in those low 80s, upper 70s. That's pretty much a very uniform temperature at this point in time. So after a nice cool morning today, it's going to be another nice afternoon. We are going to start noticing that the humidity is slowly starting to creep up. We're going to crank it up a little further come this weekend, really Sunday and into Monday, all ahead of another cold front. This cold front not expected to bring a big dose of rain or anything strong severe. It will be bringing, though, another good batch, some dry air that should keep us nice and comfortable even into next week. So even though we're talking about very dry season, fall-like weather kind of conditions, we are still tracking the tropics. Although we are not watching anything in particular just yet, we're going to be watching a zone for the next 2 weeks, and I'll show you why in just a second. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
All right, so your highs this afternoon back into those mid-80s. 85 is our high in Orlando. That's right where we should be for this time of the year, with maybe a passing sprinkle. Right now, rain chances are less than about 10% for the most part. You can see as we take you throughout the next few hours, our clouds and rain futurecast still showing a couple of isolated showers clipping the coast. The News 6 weather app, if you enable those notifications, they'll be able to actually update you before the rain gets here, which is always really helpful if you're trying to make those plans. By early Friday morning, we could be dealing with just a couple of coastal showers, so we're going to hold rain chance about 10 to 20% for you guys in southern Brevard County. But again, the rain, wherever it does fall, will come in and out pretty quickly along that strong breeze as gusts throughout today and tomorrow will be picking up between about 20 to 25 miles per hour. All right, so let's fast forward the clock. Let's move into about Sunday. That's when temperatures are expected to start warming up a little bit. Be back above average, upper 80s, feeling a little warmer than that. There will be a couple more scattered showers on Sunday and Monday, 20 to 30% at best. But then once this front clears by Monday evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are in store for another nice, not so much a drop in temperatures, but more of that dry air, keeping conditions nice and comfortable. But I do have to admit, there is some forecasts hinting at the possibility of another cold front late next week, which could be a little stronger, might bring down temperatures a little further. All right, let's talk tropics. As of right now, the National Hurricane Center is not highlighting anything in particular just yet. We are watching a couple of those tropical waves out there. There's still a lot of Saharan dust that's taking over pretty much the eastern side of the tropics, but it still leaves a little bit of a wiggle room for something to develop in the Caribbean, possibly in the Gulf. So the Climate Prediction Center has been picking up some signatures that we could see some sort of development happening, not so much next week, but really towards the end of the week and into next weekend. They're giving about a 40% shot that something could start to spiral up by that point. The GFS does spin something up by about Saturday and Sunday, not this weekend, but next weekend. That is something we, of course, will be watching pretty closely. Models are still quite in disagreement, obviously, for it being that far out. But I just wanted to remind you that hurricane season continues until November 30th. In the meantime, though, locally, the weather is going to continue to look pretty nice.
Candace, thank you. The world's largest food company says it's cutting thousands of jobs around the world. After the break, why Nestle is cutting back. And later.
In a recent News 6 investigation, we told you about this Volusia County couple who are banned from selling hot tubs. Just hours after that story aired, Florida's Attorney General began taking action in court.
Catch Mike's report during News 6 at 6. Here's a live look. Beautiful shot for you from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back. New at noon, a report is showing Americans are definitely getting their protein in, with around 61% of participants raising their protein intake in the last year. CBS's Adam Yamaguchi is hitting the supermarket to show how companies are now working to meet this rising demand.
My go-to these days, protein chips.
If you've walked into a supermarket lately, it's hard to miss. Protein is everywhere.
I can eat a whole bag.
Let's be careful, because while they have high amounts of protein, they're also still high in sodium.
Yassi Ansari, clinical dietitian at UCLA, is helping me make sense of the dazzling, often confusing array of protein-touting labels.
Before I even know this is yogurt, I just see protein, 20 grams, and then it happens to be yogurt.
New protein Eggo waffles.
This is when you know the craze has really hit. Pancakes and waffles.
Big on protein, low on sugar.
What is actually good for you? Like, are protein snacks, protein bars, protein chips?
What I encourage people to do is not to be relying on these products and consuming them in moderation instead.
But how much do we actually need? Government guidelines suggest most adults aim for about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, or about 54 grams for someone who weighs 150 pounds. Americans on average already consume over 74 grams every day.
You want to look for high quality sources. So those are, generally speaking, animal protein. Now, another way to do this is by combining beans and grains and making it a full meal.
As Americans demand convenience, food manufacturers have been quick to respond. Protein is now a $114 billion industry and growing. Starbucks recently added protein boosters to its drink menu.
We're seeing that influencers, fitness professionals, they're all encouraging more protein after lifting.
All that added protein, though, can come with a bit of sticker shock.
13 grams of protein in pancakes. The protein version is more expensive.
Then choose the one that fits your budget and add a protein, yogurt, or an egg.
Adam Yamaguchi, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The world's largest food company, Nestle, plans to cut roughly 16,000 jobs around the world over the next 2 years. Nestle says it's focusing on what it calls operational efficiency, to include automating processes and using shared services. 4,000 jobs will be cut in manufacturing and the supply chain to improve productivity. In total, Nestle will cut nearly 6% of its workforce. Check out our all-new primetime lineup on News 6 Plus. Matt and Ginger have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Stay with us. We will be right back.
All right, as we look here at the next couple of days, looking pretty good. Our next cold front, weak at best, at about a 20% chance for rain Sunday night into Monday. Looks like it will be ushering in another nice round of some pretty comfortable conditions. Highs will still be remaining near to just below average, so looking good. Dry season is here.
We love it. Thank you, Candace. Switch over to the News 6 Plus streaming app or clickorlando.com to watch News 6 Extra. Our next newscast is at 4. Have a great day.